What's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new YouTube video. I'm recording for my YouTube and for my Instagram as well for my first ever British Powerlifting Championships recap. So the way this is going to work today is I'm going to be watching my lifts and I'm going to put them on the screen, but talk about them a little bit. Talk about why I made the decisions I made, how it kind of changed the entire day and the entire dynamic of the day, okay? So we're going to kick things off with squats, of course. Squats being the first lift. We go to my first attempt being 205 kilogram. As you can see, nice and confident. 205 kilogram was my standard opener, and it's what I projected to open with all along, so nothing changed there. Felt really confident, nice, easy, smooth rep there. It was really nice. 3 white lights, and just as the commentator said, it didn't really feel like it fazed me whatsoever. This set the premise for a really good time on squats. I was really excited to see what would happen with squats. Next normal jump was 217 kilogram. So let's watch that now. So very big jump, 12.5 kilo jump. These are the jumps that my coach prescribed me. I felt confident in my squat. I felt no reason to not take this big jump. My previous comp best was 215. So if I make this, it's a 2.5 kilogram PB on my squat. I sunk it really deep and it felt good, you know. But overall, I was happy with it. In general, really good depth. I think the only thing was I expected it to move a little bit quicker. Now this kind of shook things up for the remainder of the squats. I wanted to make another jump to maybe 225 or 222. 222 is what I had been prescribed as a safe third attempt. But of course, if you watch that back and if you know my history of training, you could sprinkle a little bit of salt on top of that bar and all of a sudden I've lost all strength. So with that in mind, I thought the smartest thing to do was to ignore the third attempt call and just go for a 2.5 kilo increase of 220. So let's go through and watch that now. So I approached the bar. I'm feeling confident in the back in the warm-up room. I was speaking to my friend Adam, who does some of my filming occasionally, because he was handling me on the day. And I said to him, I feel really confident. I think I know what I need to do to try and get this up. And in my head, one of the ideas was to cut depth a little bit, because I know that I have been squatting very deep this competition. I haven't missed a rep for depth at all. I haven't got a red light for depth whatsoever. And as you can see, as soon as I hit that halfway point, things just got a little bit too tough. I still sunk it nice and deep, but I think it was maybe just a strength issue. Now, of course, that brings to conversation. If my attempts were different, and if I selected my attempts slightly differently, would squats have gone differently? And the answer to that is yes. I do think if I just changed my attempt selection a little bit, my squats would have gone a lot better. So instead of going from a 205 to a whopping 217 and then to a 220, if I went from a 205 to maybe a 215, and then I probably could have got the 220. If we look at it in a smaller jump, if we go from 205 to maybe even 212 and then 220, I think that might have been the smartest call to make, because I do think that the grinder on that 217 did play a massive factor, a massive role into whether I was going to make that third and final squat. Going back a few months to a West Midlands local competition, I did attempt 220 as a third, and I asked to grassed it. I went far too low, and that's the reason I missed that. And I wasn't peaked for that competition whatsoever, so I thought I'd be able to hit it at the British. But of course, stricter environment, completely different. So anybody that has never lifted nationally before, but has only done local competitions, just know that things are a lot tougher. It plays a part, it plays a big role. So that's my squats. At the moment, I've got a 217.5 subtotal. Okay, leading on to bench press now. So in training, in bench press, I was conscious about elbow depth. I know it's a rule that has just been introduced. A lot of mixed emotions in the powerlifting community on this rule. Is there any point in it? Does it actually help? Is it fair? Blah, blah, blah. I do have quite a prominent arch. It's not as prominent as most people. Me having much shorter arms, it definitely works in my disadvantage to have the new rule in place. So what I have done is narrow my grip and try and decrease my arch a little bit. From my perspective, I do hit a good depth, but the head judge did not think so. So I got 1 red and 2 whites. The 2 side judges can't really see as much as the head judge, but they thought it was okay. But the head judge did not think my elbow depth was satisfactory. In terms of difficulty, it felt as expected. I would have liked it to feel a tad lighter, of course, but you got to take what's there. Again, in terms of attempt selection, I just wanted to go with what my coach prescribed me on the day. I felt like that would be the best call to make. And considering he wasn't able to make it and he wasn't there, I couldn't really get that second opinion to go over it again and maybe review the decision. So I did make a jump, and we can watch it now. So I approached the bar. I've gone 7.5 kilo jump. I personally wish I went for a 5 kilo jump instead. I felt like that was a much better decision that I could have made. As you're about to see, nice descent, good pause, good depth, but I just didn't have that push and power, that strength to get that bar back up. Now in training, I've hit that. And I think in training I've hit over that. There's no point thinking too deeply into it. I'm just going to put it down to a strength issue. But when you're at a competition like this, all these questions are posed to you. Of course, I missed my second attempt, so I have to retake it for my third if I want to try and have a chance of getting this number on the board. So I go for 127 again. I think, right, what can I do differently? I need to push more with my legs. My leg drive wasn't really good enough, and I need to make sure that I am fast off the chest. I think we can all agree that it probably was a strength issue there, and that does need to be addressed in my training and in my programming. And possibly even on the day, I need to have a look at my training weight and my competition weight and just make sure that they are as close to each other as physically possible. So at this point, I'm having a pretty bad day. I've only made 2 squats and I've only made 1 bench press. So I am 3 out of 6 at the moment. So at this point, I'm a little bit shook, but I do try and keep my confidence, restrain my confidence, and go back out there and attack my deadlifts. Just try and bring it back on the deadlifts. The only thing in my mind now is, right, I'm at my first British. I don't want to make a fool of myself. Don't want to just make a mockery of myself. So all of these thoughts are playing in my head. The pressure's on. I know that I'm not competing for something crazy. I know that I'm not competing for placement. I'm only competing for myself, and I want to do right by myself and the people watching and the people supporting me. So I really try and give deadlifts my all. If any of you have been keeping up with my training, you'd realise that I have changed my grip and my hand width a little bit. Used to be right on the knurling, as most people are, but I'd run into a common issue of my hands getting stuck over my quads. So me and my coach made the executive decision to narrow my grip onto the smooth, and I hadn't run into any lockout issues during my my training or my prep. And a Lico bar, especially a brand new Lico bar, which this is, they do have a branding red bit of tape / sticker on the smooth part of the bar, and right as I lock out an extremely fast rep, that hand just comes undone, and it's because of that stupid red tape. So I've got 2 options here. I can revert back to my old grip, which I knew wouldn't work for me, and it has never worked for me above 220. It would always my hand would always get stuck on my leg. Or I could try something completely different and go slightly narrower, just so I miss the red tape. But that does mean that I am all the way in on the smooth, and I'm also touching the centre knurl, and I did hear the commentators questioning what I was doing or why I was doing that. So hopefully now it's quite obvious, and I've explained it well enough. We made that decision just to try and make lockout a little bit easier. So second attempt, 222.5 kilo. The judge gave me the down command, and because of my first attempt, I dropped the bar before I even got the down command because of my lockout. I thought, I'm going to hold this here for 3 or 4 more seconds just to prove that I'm all good, because after that first attempt I had a lot of people rushing out to me. Are you okay? Do you need to wrap your thumbs? Have you left blood all over the bar? I did check my thumb just to see, because it did hurt a little bit when it fell, when it slipped out of the hand, and I just wanted to check if I had any cuts or loose skin, and I didn't. But because I did check my thumb, I did get a lot of people worried about my thumb, but I was okay. So I held it there at the top, popped it down when I got the down command, and it was a good lift, 3 whites. Third attempt. Now, so far I've had a pretty bad meet. I think we can all understand and we can all see that my competition did not go to plan at all. So I've got 2 options here. I've got 3 options. I can play it safe. I can go 227, and if I went 227, I would match my all-time best deadlift in a competition, and that would put my total exactly 2.5 kilo under my best ever total, which was 667.5 kilos. So that would bring me to 665. So I've gone to British and done worse. Okay. The second option would be I go 230, which would be a 2.5 kilogram personal best, and if I managed to do that, I would have matched my all-time best total, which was 667.5 kilogram. All right. Now, third option would be to Hail Mary it, go for it, try a 232.5 kilogram, beat my all-time best by 2.5 kilo, and walk away a happy man, knowing that I've done everything in my power to do my best and beat my current score. So, obviously, me being me, I did go for the 232.5 kilogram. I walk out to the bar, the crowd super quiet. It is super quiet. What the hell is going on? This is 3rd attempts on deadlifts and everybody's quiet, everyone's dead. So I walk out and I do ask for more energy. I need some hype, I need some encouragement. I might not be pulling for a record, I might not be pulling for anything crazy, but this means a lot to me. So I'm asking for more energy at this point. I set myself up, my hands in my new position, I'm feeling confident. I set my grip and initiate the lift. I get it to my legs, I'm trying to lock it, it gets to my knees, and I can't lock the knees and I can't get the hips through and I can't finish the rep. Unfortunate, very unfortunate. Again, do I think my attempt selection could have been better? On the deadlifts, no. I think my attempt selection was bang on the deadlifts. I think if I tried to go any different way, I wouldn't have even got what I got. So I'm very happy with what I attempted to do in my performance on the deadlifts, and I missed my third deadlift, but I think it is due to a mixture of strength, a mixture of circumstance, because of the red tape on the bar that I should have anticipated, and the changes I had to make because of my thumb. Overall, I got a 560 total, which is 7.5 kilo below my all-time best. I know where I went wrong. I've already identified the issues and I'm fixing them. For my first ever British, I'm not that upset. You know, it wasn't a terrible meet, and it wasn't an amazing meet, it wasn't even a good meet, it was just bang average. So I can't really complain in terms of that. So from here, I've got the All Englands in August, I believe. I may have got that wrong, but I'm going to try and compete in the All Englands and bring things back there, and I'm going to compete again at the end of the year at a local West Mids, try and put up a nice total, and then next year I'm going to try for the British again, and I'm going to do my best and hopefully put up a substantial increase on my total, because if I don't, man, I've said it to everybody on the day, if I ever go through this again, I'm quitting and I'm becoming a florist or a BMXer, or I don't know, anything. I'll be a tree surgeon. I'll just do something else, okay? So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. That has been my 2023 British Championships meet recap. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the video. Let me know what you thought about my performance. Roast me if you want to. I'm completely here for it. And don't forget to like the smash button. Peace.